I'm informed that you think that within 30 minutes, the 7 of you could make the internet unusable for the entire nation. Is that correct?
That's correct, actually.
Imagine being able to shut down the entire internet in just 30 minutes. Sounds impossible, right? But in 1998, a group of hackers known as Loft claimed they could do just that. This is their story. In the early 1990s, nestled in the heart of Boston, Massachusetts, a revolution was quietly brewing. In a loft space, a sanctuary for the technologically curious and audacious, Brian Oblivion and Count Zero were laying the groundwork for a movement that would forever change the landscape of cybersecurity: Loft Heavy Industries. The Loft, filled with discarded tech and equipment scavenged from the flea at MIT and local dumpsters, was a playground for these pioneers. It was a place where they could push the boundaries of what was possible, a place where they could expose the vulnerabilities that lurked beneath the surface of the digital world.
We all basically do the exact same thing, 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever.
So why do you do? So why do you do it 6 to midnight?
It's the off hours. It's the time spent here that we can push what we've stumbled upon to a limit, to the extreme.
As their reputation grew, so did their ambition. They quit their day jobs, turning their passion into a business venture, Loft Heavy Industries, a hacker think tank that would change the world. In the Loft, a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose filled the air. Late-night coding sessions were punctuated by bursts of laughter and the clinking of soda cans. The members of Loft, each with their unique skills and perspectives, worked together on a variety of projects. They dissected software code, explored network protocols, and even dabbled in hardware hacking. Each new discovery, each new vulnerability exposed, was a victory, a step towards their shared goal of making the digital world a safer place. Day and night, the Loft buzzed with activity. The members of Loft, their eyes illuminated by the glow of computer screens, probed the weaknesses of computer systems, exposing the flaws in widely used software, and developing groundbreaking tools like LoftCrack, a password cracker for Windows NT. Their work was a wake-up call, a demonstration of the fragility of the digital world.
Everything in the loft was carried by hand up these stairs. So just remember that when you see the vacs, the 2 vaxes. So here we go. Some people have asked, like, what exactly, what is the loft? And I was just like, well, it's like a clubhouse, Except we don't have secret handshakes or anything. But it's neat too when we have like friends over, like visiting from out of state or whatever, and they're into computers like we are. There's a place we can bring them here and they can sleep here. I mean, initially we were just looking for storage space, to just store stuff, and it's turned into sort of a weird communal thing. I've had a lot of this stuff for years.
Their reputation echoed through the chambers of the hacker underworld and eventually reached the corridors of power. The world was becoming increasingly digital, and with that came an increasing number of vulnerabilities. The members of Loft were among the few who had the knowledge and the skills to expose these vulnerabilities. And so, in May 1998, they received an invitation that would change their lives forever. An invitation to testify before the United States Congress.
We're joined today by the 7 members of the Loft hacker think tank in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Due to the sensitivity of the work done at the Loft, they'll be using their hacker names of Mudge, Weld, Brian Oblivion, Kingpin, Space Rogue, Tan, and Stefan.
The journey to Washington, D.C. was filled with long discussions and intense preparation. Each member of Loft spent countless hours refining their statements, anticipating questions, and rehearsing their responses. As the day of the testimony approached, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. They were about to step onto a stage unlike any they had been on before, and the weight of the responsibility they carried was palpable. They were not just hackers, they were whistleblowers, pioneers, truth-tellers. And the truth they told was a chilling one. They could shut down the entire internet in 30 minutes.
I think it's probably appropriate that gentlemen such as yourself are the ones who come forward and demonstrate that the emperor has no clothes. You think that within 30 minutes, the 7 of you could make the internet unusable for the entire nation. Is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, one of us with just a few packets. We've told a few agencies about this. It's kind of funny because we think that this is something that the various government agencies should be actively going after. We know the Department of Defense just did a very large investigation into what's known as denial of service attacks against the infrastructure. We contributed a large portion of the information to that actual investigation. Much to our chagrin, the learnings from it were instantly classified. It is very trivial with the old protocols to segregate and separate the different major long-haul providers, which would then be the national access points, the metropolitan area ether sections. AT&T can't talk to MCI, can't talk to PSINet, can't talk to Alternet, et cetera, and keep it down that way as long as we really wanted to. It would definitely take a few days for people to figure out what was going on.
The room fell silent. The implications of their statement were staggering. The world was unprepared for the digital threats that lay ahead. As they delivered their chilling message, you could hear a pin drop in the room. The Congress members, usually so quick to interject, were speechless. Some exchanged disbelieving glances, others stared at the loft members, trying to gauge if this was a bluff. But the serious, determined expressions on the hackers' faces told them it was anything but.
And I'm curious, if a foreign government was able to assemble a group of gentlemen such as yourself, and paid them large amounts of money and got them in here or hired them here to wreak as much havoc on this government as they could in terms of infrastructure, the governmental operations, whatever. How much damage could they do?
Some of the areas that you should worry about are your phone systems are down, your electricity's gone, your financial markets. We recently had a very close call in the financial markets. The disruption of service is a wonderful way of messing people up. In addition, by disrupting service in certain patterns, you can force people to take other routes. Let's say that I have taken over MCI's networks. I can watch everything that goes through this major backbone provider's transitory networks, but I can't watch Sprint. Well, what am I going to do? I'll disrupt Sprint service so that everybody routes through me. Now I can learn everything you're doing, I can watch your movements, I can stop your movements, I can issue requests on your behalf. You'd be surprised how much stuff is tied into the general networks now.
Their message was simple yet chilling. They could bring the digital world to its knees in less than half an hour. The room fell into a stunned silence. The magnitude of their statement was staggering. The world was standing on the edge of a precipice, unprepared and vulnerable. But the story of Loft doesn't end there. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into their groundbreaking work, the impact they had on the world of cybersecurity, and where the members of this legendary group are now. In the aftermath of their testimony, the world of cybersecurity was irrevocably altered. Their words, stark and unflinching, served as a global wake-up call. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of our digital infrastructure, sending shockwaves through the world and leading to a renewed focus on improving cybersecurity. This marked the beginning of a new era, an era of increased awareness and urgency. In the days following the testimony, the members of Loft found themselves in the eye of a media storm. Their testimony had made headlines around the world, and their warning about the fragility of the internet had sparked a global conversation about cybersecurity.
Kind of weird. I found this. Talk about something that's a little frightening. I read this in the news yesterday. A group of computer hackers told Congress that hackers are now capable of shutting down the internet, redirecting commercial flights, and transferring millions of Wall Street dollars around the world. It's weird, yeah, which means the only thing hackers still aren't capable of doing is losing their virginity.
Amid the flurry of interviews and media appearances, the members of Loft remained focused on their mission. They worked with government agencies and private companies, sharing their expertise and helping to implement stronger security measures. In the years following their testimony, the members of Loft continued to make significant contributions to the field of cybersecurity. They didn't just fade into the background. Instead, they used their newfound fame to further their mission of making the digital world safer. In 2000, Loft merged with the startup Stake, marking their transition from an underground hacker collective to a legitimate cybersecurity firm. This move allowed them to work with a broader range of clients and have a greater impact on the industry. Several members of Loft went on to found their own cybersecurity companies. In 2006, Weld Pond and Dildog founded Veracode, an application security company that has become a major player in the industry. Their work at Veracode continues the mission they started at Loft, helping businesses protect their software from security threats. Other members have taken on roles in academia and government, sharing their expertise and helping to shape the future of cybersecurity. They've become respected figures in the field, their hacker aliases now synonymous with innovation and responsible disclosure. In 2018, the members of Loft reunited at the DEF CON 26 hacking conference. 2 decades after their historic testimony, they sat together on a panel reflecting on their journey and discussing the future of cybersecurity. It was a powerful reminder of how far they've come and how much their work has shaped the industry. The story of Loft is a testament to the power of curiosity, collaboration, and responsible disclosure. It's a story of visionaries who dared to challenge the status quo, who dared to expose the vulnerabilities of the digital world. It's a story that continues to shape the world of cybersecurity, reminding us of the importance of vigilance and innovation in the face of ever-evolving digital threats. And as for the members of Loft, they're still out there, still pushing boundaries, still working to make the digital world a safer place.